Hello? If you can hear me, guys, we're just gonna do some observing of the moon. Let's see if you can hear me now. Please let me know. I just turned on audio. I thought I had it off. I had it set on the wrong microphone. Good, good, good. Hey, Fam, how are you? And Audra, how are you? So I'm cool. Excellent. So I'm just streaming some views of the moon. The moon looks a bit tinted red in my view because of the camera I'm using. It has it's an unfiltered camera, so everything has a slight reddish tint because of infrared light. Let's go. Let's go down to our area of the moon here. Now, this is almost a full moon, so it's not a really good time to look at the moon and its details. First quarter is probably the best. And I'll do this again next month, or in a couple of weeks when we're near first quarter. I was going to look at Jupiter, but the images of Jupiter were not very, very good. It was blown out. I didn't have my filters on. So I'm just slewing the telescope around here. It's good to hear now, fam. So as I said, I was looking at Jupiter a while ago, before I went live, and it didn't look great. Um, it's very bright, and the moon is affecting the image, so I'll have to make some adjustments for the next time I go live to show Jupiter. You can see its moons, but you can't see any detail of the planet, and there's no point in looking in if you can't see the cloud tops. And I won't be on for very long. I just thought I'd give people a quick view through one of my scopes. So my setup today is my Losmandy G11 G2 telescope mount, and on top of it is a Celestron 9.25 HHD telescope. And I'm actually using a DSLR, a modified DSLR camera, connected to the back of my scope to do um, my imaging. So it's a Canon T3i that has been modified. But it's a nice, it gives you an idea of the type of views of the scope that I see, or of the moon that we can see. And to prove that this is real, I'm going to wobble the camera, wobble the view a little bit so you can see that it actually changes. This is me slightly shaking the telescope. So it's a real view, it's not actually a second image or someone else's live feed. So in about a week and a half or so, I'll do another one of these if the weather permitting. Let's actually zoom in a little bit closer, and we'll change our field, our point of view. Let's get a closer look at some of the cratering there. Now, the reason why everything's shimmering is actually because of the atmosphere. So the atmosphere makes everything dance. In case you're wondering why everything was wobbling around why everything is wobbling in the image. I'm actually sitting outside on my lawn, my front lawn. And any of my neighbours going by, even though it's late at night, they'll all think I'm crazy talking to myself. So this software I'm using is called Backyard EOS, um, and it is connected to my computer via my computer to my DSLR, which is a Canon T3i EOS camera, and it's connected to that camera via USB, and then we're actually seeing a live preview of what the camera sees. Now I can change from this to go over to doing imaging. But that's one I took at Jupiter earlier on. So you see it's not very clear. So let's do a quick capture of the moon. And it's blown out. You change this. I can't go far enough without bringing in other software. Okay, so let's go back to the live view. It's probably better. There we go. I'm not going to stay on long. We have 5 people watching. That's kind of cool. 5 people watching images of the video of the moon. It's starting to get cold out here, guys. Actually, if you go back to the software, if you look closely at the software, it will actually tell you the temperature of the chip. Where is it? It says it's 54 degrees centigrade. That's the heat of the chip because it's gathering light, and it's going to get warmer and warmer as the more light it gathers. But outside, it's kind of chilly. So does anyone have any questions? There's 4 people watching right now, but if anyone has any questions, please feel free. Yes, that noise you hear is an airplane flying over, if you do hear it. No questions? Hello, whoever just joined. I'm actually showing some live views of the moon through my telescope. I did look at. I was going to show Jupiter, but it wasn't showing up really well. So I decided to switch over to the moon, which is an easier target. So if you have any questions, please feel free to chime in. Sky is very clear tonight. Another small instruction. Actually is very clear tonight, and even though the image is a little bit red, as I said, because of my camera, because it's a modified camera. The There's very little smoke in the atmosphere. It's actually quite good, so I'm quite pleased. So let me go and recenter this. It's drifting a little bit. So one thing some of you may not know, we're actually looking at a live view, but even when you're looking at the moon, you're looking backward in time almost 2 seconds. It's actually 1.5 seconds back in time because the light you see from the moon actually left here 1.5 seconds ago, which is kind of cool. But when you look at the sun, you actually look backward in time 8 minutes at the sun. 5 likes, that's not actually 6 likes. So yeah, that's not bad for a stagnant image or not stagnant image, but a view of the moon. And it's actually not the best time to look at the moon. The best time to look at the moon is actually as you approach the first quarter. But yeah, 5 watching and 6 likes is kind of good. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free. We have Audra, we have Nonfam, we have Gary T. I don't know who else of the five is on. Um, I don't know if anybody else has joined. Any of our usual suspects, as Kieran would say. It's not a bad view. Oh, it's drifting. I didn't get a proper alignment, so I'm going to have to move it around a little bit. And I'm going to zoom out to see a slightly bigger image. So let me make this. There we go. I can do a quick adjust. Those clicks you're hearing me pushing the buttons on my telescope to tell it to move because I'm not controlling it via the computer right now. I'm just using a hand controller. So what's everybody else up to tonight? It's probably late for most people. It's 11. It's just after 11 here. Actually, while I was setting up a while ago, I saw there was a nice meteor. It was kind of cool. It went right by the moon. So anybody have any questions or any comments, or do you like this? Do you think we should do more of this? I can do lots of these, weather permitting, of course. Um, you're in Calgary. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice one. It's going to be full moon on Monday, so as I said, it's not the best time to be looking at it. Last weekend would have been better, but I couldn't do it last weekend. For those who are outside looking at the moon, if you happen to do go outside, if you look at the moon, so looking south towards the moon, to the right of the moon, a really bright dot, a really bright object to the right of the moon, is actually the planet Jupiter. And if you want to, you think it's awesome? Cool. Well, I'd like to do other stuff. I'd like to do like some deep sky stuff, but the moon not right now is not a good time. I will get I will get set up when the skies are darker and there's no moon in the sky because I will swing things around and we can look at stuff like globular clusters and um, uh, stuff like the Ring Nebula, which is a planetary nebula. It's really cool to see. A planetary nebula is what's left over after a star dies. A star like our sun dies. And the Ring Nebula is such a planetary nebula, and it's about um, the Ring Nebula is about from a star about 1.5 times the size of our sun that died. So in about 5 to 10 billion years, that's what our if somebody from another um, solar system looking back at our sun will see that. Oh, we have 7 people on. That's cool. So how's everyone? I just decided to show people a couple of views of the moon through my telescope. Hey, Matt. Matt, don't you sleep? What time is it now? It's uh, I'm guessing 4 a.m. in the morning for you. Matt was on with you were on, or all of you, I believe, were on Jerry's stream earlier on. Well, I can do more of this. This is not a problem. Weather permitting, of course. Michigan is notorious for clouds. We've had a pretty good run of it right now. So I was just trying to take some advantage of it. Well, yeah, the red information is actually it's red because I have it set into night mode. I can switch it on and off night mode, so I can turn it from that over into normal daytime mode. Um, that can be moved around. That's easy enough. So this is giving me this software gives me a couple of some information. So I have the connector disconnected to the battery. I can do imaging runs where I can set up a series of exposures of an item that I want to take photographs of, like ISO settings and duration, how many seconds, and so on. This option here is allowing me to do some for focusing. Now our focus is pretty good right now, but this is some options in here to help with focusing. Planetary is for capturing video, but it also allows me a live feed like what we have right now. And I can change other settings. Like I can change it from bulb. I can change white balance. I can change the ISO. I can up the ISO, which will eventually blow out the image when I up the ISO and I take a shot. I don't want to do that right now though. I want to keep the ISO pretty low. And this is for doing some drift aligning, which is a polar alignment technique. Six people watching and 7 likes. Nice, not bad. So if anyone has any other questions, as I said, we're looking at the moon. Just to have some. This is on my Rosmendi G11 G2 equatorial mount using my Celestron 9.25 HHD telescope. I don't have my camera on, so you can see me because there's no point, it's dark. And I'm using a Canon T3i that's been modified for astrophotography, hence the reason why there's a little bit of a tint color to the moon, and because the modified allows for infrared light. Up a bit more. There we go. I'm just using a hand controller. I'm not computer controlling, but it's kind of like a computer built into the handset. Hey, Stephen, how are you? So we're not going to look at Jupiter tonight, um, because the image is blown out. I need to use my filters to dull down the image to dim it to show more detail. But the moon is an easy target to get. And I did promise earlier on Jerry's stream that I would set up my telescope and give people a view of the sky. Now, next weekend, um, there is an event here in Michigan called Astronomy at the Beach. It's a really big astronomy event. It's a 2-day event. Now, we're not doing in person because of the pandemic, but what we are doing is we're going to do some remote and some live events online. On Friday, there'll be a couple of telescopes streaming, and there'll be some presentations done by amateur astronomers like myself. Come Saturday, there'll be more scopes streaming again. Some earlier on. On Friday there'll be some early, and Saturday some early. By early, I mean about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. They'll be live streaming um, and talking about solar imaging. Now, if there are some sunspots to observe, I will do white light solar observing. So I'll set up my scope to do white light observing, and somebody else will have their telescope set up to do hydrogen alpha imaging. Given if there's no sunspots to be seen, I will not do white light. When we'll just let the other guy do his hydrogen alpha. So hydrogen alpha allows you to see the prominences on the sun, which what create solar flares. So you'll get to see some of those, weather permitting, of course. But there'll be a lot of other presentations and other night sky imaging. There'll be some live stacking, which is taking a series of images and stacking them real time. And um, there will also be some people showing existing images that is taken and processed in the past. And there'll be, as I said, there'll be other talks about astronomy and we have one of our new members of our astronomy club is going to be doing a talk, short talk on the road to about what's involved in getting into astronomy, which is kind of cool. He's not been a member of the club long, but he's learned a lot in a really short time. And as in that time, he'll be telling you about like what he bought, why he went that direction, and so on. What decisions he had to make, and why he made his mind up in that specific direction. So it's going to be, but we have a lot of others as well. We'll be talking about some sciencey stuff, and um, sometimes we'll be getting into the weeds of the science. Maybe we're hoping to have John McGill, who is actually a member of our club, but uh, he does photography for rocket launches, and hopefully, I think John is planning to do a presentation on photography for the rocket launches because there's a whole process involved there. What time? Oh, it's 11:15. Okay. Well, I'll stay on for a small while more. I won't say too long. I just thought I would keep my promise about showing everybody a little bit of the night sky. Um, my plans for Jupiter didn't pan out, but I will work on that and I will get it sorted. And I'll be able to show you some Jupiter images at some point. Through the eyepiece, Jupiter looks really, 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 really good, but through the camera, it's not coming up as nice as I was hoping. So I'll have to use a different camera. Okay, 4 viewers right now, 8 likes. That's good. Thank you all for liking it, even though it was only kind of an impromptu thing today. I decided to try and do something because we've been talking a lot about astronomy and so on in the Hangouts and and with SpaceX bringing people back from their trip around the Earth for the last 3 days. It's kind of interesting to offer you some of the views that I see. So again, if you have questions, please feel free to speak up. If not, I won't stay on much longer, but I just thought I'd give you a preview. I don't know. I think Jerry said he was going to drop in, but I haven't seen him on here yet. But the usual suspects are here, like Non-Fam and Gary and Stephen and Audra. It's kind of cool to see you guys. Non-Fam is everywhere. I think Non-Fam lives in his phone. The moment a stream pops up, Non-Fam just jumps straight into it. So whoever just joined, I'm just give you an idea of what's happening. I was going to show Jupiter, but the camera I used isn't showing a really good view of Jupiter. So I will work on that for the next time I stream. But since it is a good night for the moon, well, it's an okay night for the moon. The moon is close to being full, but it's not which is not really good for seeing details on the moon. But it works. And I thought I'd jump on. Since I did say I was going to do so, I decided to jump on and give you a view of the moon, um, and keep my promise that I made earlier on today that I was going to make it happen. So for the 6 people who are out there watching right now, thank you for joining me. I thought it would be a little something different than what I normally do on my channel, which is 3D printers, and oh yeah, 3D printers. Okay, throwing the odd laser every now and again, but it'd be we do talk a lot about science and astronomy, and I thought I'd throw in a little bit of astronomy into the mix. In the distance right now, I can hear the coyotes yelping and hollering. I hear them regularly out here when I'm out here at night time. Let's see how this view is looking. Let me move things a little bit. So again, if you're looking at the view, the reason why, other than when I'm moving it, the reason why everything looks like it's rippling a little bit and it's actually calming down. So let me zoom in. If you look, everything's rippling a little bit like it's underwater. That's our atmosphere is actually, um, it's actually refracting the light and making everything look like it's rippling. So our upper atmosphere is moving and it's actually disturbing the light coming in from the moon. So that's why you're seeing that rippling effect. If any of you have ever got into done anything with astronomy at any time, you'll know what I mean when I say it's really peaceful to be sitting out here most of the time alone, because astronomy is kind of a you can do it with a group, but it's often pretty quiet. It's a thing that most people do on their own. Can I zoom to the left? You see a spaceship. Hey Nadav, how are you? Zoom to the left. Whereabouts to, like, you mean over to the craters? I can zoom in on the crater areas. So you want me to zoom in here? You can see it rippling. Now that is dust somewhere in the optical train. I got a little bit of dust or something in there. So no, Nadav is not a spaceship. But the more you zoom in, the more you see the rippling effect of the atmosphere. If you're outside the atmosphere, that would be perfect. There'd be no ripples whatsoever. And Nadav, you need to lay off on the beer if you're seeing the spaceship in that image. I think the coyotes got whatever they were hunting. They've gone quiet. They might chime up again later on. All that's out here right now is me, the frogs chirping, croaking in the background, and you can hear some insects chirping around out there. And I can hear the clicks of the bats because they're out feeding. If you scratch the microphone a bit, you can scratch the microphone. Okay. Actually, I wonder, can I upload views of? Can I upload stuff into? Um, if I download from here, can I upload into Twitch? I recently became a member of Twitch. I had to join Twitch to go look at DB Dan's Twitch streams. So you have to be a member to view the streams over there. So I was forced to join to jump on the stream with Dan. Maybe I'll actually get a high fidelity microphone and just record the background noise here, and then play it. So we've been going for a little bit of time. Okay, if you see a bright glow in the view, it's a neighbor. There's somebody driving up the street. You are correct, Nansan. The higher the altitude, the lower the distortion. There's none? Well, I can fix that then. And by the way, just to prove it's real, I'm going to touch the telescope. You can see it wobble a little bit. It's real. No, actually, to get focus on this, if you'd have to be about a mile away. You can't actually get focus with anything close by. They by default in its lowest eyepiece, and even with just a camera, like as you can see here, I can't even get the full moon into view because of the focal length of the telescope. It's a 2,000 millimeter focal length, so it's no matter what I try, I would never get the full moon. Now, if I want to get the full moon into view, I'd have to change it to a different type of scope, which I have, which is a refractor, which has a much shorter focal length, and that would actually get the whole moon into view. But I can't do it with this; its focal length is too long. Now, the fact that Matt said that we should point it into somebody's home, right? That explains to you what type of person what type of person Matt is and where his mind goes. So let me realign it a little bit. Oh wait, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, so I'll give a wide view again. And let's try and get this. Um, let's look at the other side. We're going to look at the other limb of the moon. There we go. I'm just cratering there. The best cratering is actually on the what in this image would be have to be on the right hand side of the, but the moon is too full right now. You can zoom away and look how bad that distortion is because of our atmosphere, and it's not really that bad, but it's there. I know, Matt, but we have to give you a hard time because you said it. This is a quite nice night. I know some of my club members are out at one of the local state parks doing out there today to do some this evening to do some imaging. But I didn't want to do that because I wanted to stream, and there's no internet connectivity out there. Even the cell phone connectivity out there is abysmal. There's no dark side to the moon, Matt. But I'll tell you what, you go out there and let me know what it's like. Actually, if you can get a night with no moon, that's clear skies, um, it'll be good to see a galaxy. The nearest large galaxy to Earth is the Andromeda Galaxy, and it's actually rising right now. Only for the moon we could actually look at it, but the moon will actually wash it out because galaxies are faint objects. Actually, the Andromeda Galaxy is, if you could see it in the night sky with your naked eye, it'd be about 5 times the size of full moon, but it's super faint. I know what you mean, Matt. Yeah, we never see the moon is tidally locked to us. No, it's not like a disc with two sides. But because we're tidally locked, or it's tidally locked to us, well, not really. Its rotational period is the same as its orbital period, so the face is always the same. But we have seen the other side because we, like China, have a rover that landed out there. We have went out there. We have satellites that are beyond moon's orbit that have imaged the other side of the moon. During a new moon, um, the other side of the moon is lit up. Has anyone seen their rover? It's kind of cool. It's really small, but it's kind of cool. We need to get back to the moon. We seriously need to get back to the moon. This, um, and I think the only person who's going to do it for us right now is going to be Musk. He's working on getting us there. See how the view looks. It looks okay. I can tweak it a little bit. I'm glad there's some of you guys came in to hang out here. I just gave it a try. Wasn't that Wallace and Gromit went up to harvest cheese? Come on, Matt, you live in the UK. You have to have seen Wallace and Gromit. 'So we've been live how long now? Let's see. Live a while. What? Which is the great show? Wallace and Gromit? That used to be great. I used to love that animation. Or it was like it was really cool. It was like a Play-Doh animation. It was really good. They were really funny shows. Also, it's I also find Shaun the Sheep was a really good one. I think it's made by the same creator. 4 people watching. It's getting late for everybody. I'm surprised we even have 4 people on there. Matt doesn't sleep. Matt doesn't sleep, so it's what 11:30, 4:30 in the morning for you, Matt, I believe. No, the coyotes did not get me. You see, I'm not always loud and noisy, especially when all my neighbours are trying to sleep and I'm out in the front lawn with a telescope chatting to a screen. But it's actually quite still. There's not much. There's only a very very slight breeze. The sky is lovely and clear. I've been kind of lucky that we got this. Yeah, Wallace and Gromit is a. I believe it's Gromit, not Gromit, but yeah, I think it's a good show. It was a good show. We got 10 likes. Cool. I don't even know if I get 10 likes for us from our hangouts. What I'll have to do is I'll have to get my live stacking set up so I can actually take images on the fly and stack them real time. That would be interesting to bring out detail of faint objects. And then the fall is kind of good time to do it as long as it's not raining or overcast, because in the fall there's less mosquitoes. Like right now, because it's cooled down, there's no mosquitoes hanging out. So I'm no longer it's not a feeding frenzy of me. Mosquitoes like me. 4:30 in the morning in the UK. Yeah, that's craziness, man. Let's go back up to the northern, back up here and have a look. It's kind of cool to think that all those craters were created by impact. In the early stages of the universe, everything got bombarded, including our planet. But it's kind of cool. Look like people prefer when you're most silent. You might have a pointer, Nanfan. Maybe I should be quiet more often. But then there'll be nothing said at the hangouts. So we're gonna do the next live unboxing in silent mode. No speak, no audio, just video. What do you think? Think that's a good idea? We'll do hangouts. We'll all have to learn sign language. We'll do hangouts without any audio, and then we'll do the live unboxing with video only, and we'll play like just like some of the companies do. They play some really quirky, weird audio when they're showing their live unboxing, when they're showing their unboxing videos. We could start a new trend. What do you think? Everybody up for that? Yeah, like the old movies. Yeah, the old Harold Lloyd movies and all those guys were. It was always very quiet. There were silent movies, but it was all Gary. I am not doing interpretive dance. No. Well, what we could do is we could do silent movies, and every now and again we switch over and show images of Jerry getting slapped upside the head. So that would be the slapstick side of the entertainment. And then we can also introduce every time that Tim, um, with Tim bumps his head, so we can add those scenes in every now and again. There's no such thing as dumb questions. There's just dumb answers. Retro unboxing. I think we can start a trend. Maybe we'll do it on TikTok. What do you think? We'll do that type of setup on TikTok, or we'll do silent live streams on TikTok of um, You'd watch that. Maybe we should do silent. Uh, Maybe I'll set up my laser and I'll stream to TikTok with no audio, and all it will be is um, streaming the laser working while it's burning. Nothing else. No music. No nothing. Just the view, the video feed of the laser burning wood. Are you offering to play piano, Matt? Because I know I can't play piano. I'm very musical. I play a really good radio. It's about as far as my musical talents go. Well, see, I won't need Lightspeed anymore because you won't need to translate. Lightspeed is so proud that he can translate my accent. It's kind of funny. It's not a bad view to moon. When we get to first quarter and if we have a clear night on that weekend, I'll show it again. I'll come out and set up again because it would look really, really good because you see all the shadows and so on the moon because of the angle of the light hitting the moon. All of the shadows of the craters really stands out. It's really nice to see. So what do you think? Do you think we should do a live stream of just the laser burning? And we could do it onto Twitch. I have a Twitch account, Astropreneur. I haven't posted any content up there yet because I just created the account about a week or 2 weeks ago. I believe old Curmudgeon followed me uh, on there. But do you think would you think people would watch that if I just live streamed the laser burning? I could even set it up for the CO2 laser in my house, inside in my basement, where the CO2 laser is engraving, but it's much faster than a diode laser. You can see the CO2 laser burning, like doing slate stone or wood or something or tile or something. Wow, I'm still amazed that 5 of you are still hanging out with me. So now I'm in favor of doing it. Okay, maybe we'll do it on Twitch because Twitch is a place to do to experiment. I don't want to do it on my YouTube, but I might do it on Twitch. I might just set up the laser and hit go, find a nice large object to engrave. I can stream from OBS to Twitch, so I can set up the camera on the outside. I'll set up my outside and my on my deck. Oh, by the way, how's the audio with this? I'm just using the microphone built into the laptop. Is the audio good? Audio, you think that'd be a cool idea? Okay, well I can do that. Actually, I have to check the forecast for tomorrow. Um, it's an easy one to set up, just to live stream, and I can because I even do my burning for OBS and so on, or not OBS, my burning from Lightburn on this machine. You think it's really good audio? Cool, because this is just a built-in audio from my laptop. Well, I have to admit the I don't want the dew landing on my laptop, so I have a light shield um, uh, container that's designed for this. It's designed to put your laptop into it, and then you have little connect ports on the back of it to feed. We can slip in cables and so on to your laptop, and it keeps your laptop out of the weather and out of the and the light. the stray light when your laptop doesn't go out and interfere with with your telescope or with other people's views through your if you were at a star party, for example. So it concentrates. It doesn't allow any stray light. The only person who can see it is the person sitting in front of it. Thanks, Matt. You feel sorry for me. Thank you. That at least I know I want it. Kind of funny. You see, I know this is where I come to get abuse, but I give it also, so it's okay. Yeah, Matt's funny, funny looking, but funny. As I said, it's not tracking very well because I didn't do a really good alignment. Actually, I aligned it by eye initially, and once I did my initial alignment by eye, I mean, like not even having the polar star, I just roughly eyed it where it should be pointing, so it's not doing too bad for tracking. Normally, I would use what's called a pole master that I attach my scope to my mount, sorry, and I would precisely polar align my telescope using a computer. But I didn't do that tonight because I was just going to be doing something like this, right? So it's a pretty rough alignment, but it's not bad, and it's tracking fairly well. Mum was a clown and your dad was a mime. Okay, now I wonder what attributes you picked up. I think we should. I think that conversation should be on our hangout on Wednesday because we'll have a lot of fun with that one, Matt. Maybe what I'll do is next time I will actually I'll bring out an external camera and I will set up as an external camera so I can actually uh, using a light like you have a torch in my hand and show you the setup that we're using for imaging. I think I've shown you in my video, but the one in the video that I showed didn't have had my refractor mounted on this setup, I believe, not my SCT. So the SCT is good for uh, smaller objects. The refractor is really good for wider field of views. Like I used a refractor when I was imaging the sun at the solar eclipse. But the SCT, which is what I'm using right now, if I can't get the full view of the moon and I won't get the full view of the sun, so I have to um, for next weekend I'll be using my refractor. Hopefully to do white light imaging, white light views of the sun, weather permitting, of course. So Jupiter is just passing the meridian right now, and the moon is approaching it. So what does it say? It says my stream is good. Get a night vision camera to show us around. I don't have one. My club owns a night vision, but it's designed to go onto a telescope. It's not just to show a normal camera. And none of the cameras I have are low light. Um, Even my video camera, well, maybe my video camera has I have to check to see if it's got a low light setting and how well it does outdoors at nighttime. I think it has a low light option, so maybe that will work. Actually, one other thing I want to do, weather permitting again. This weather is not bad for showing you the. I need to check the Rubens tube, my Rubens tube. I need to check it out to see if I need to do any patching or repairing on it. Because if it is, if not, still nights like this are really good nights to show it. But it has to be early-ish because I have to play music really loud for it to work. And I think my neighbors would object. But it's a good thing to show. The Rubens tube is kind of cool to watch fire dance with music. So, any other questions or anything else? Any other comments about Matt's clown and mime parentage? Because if there's no other questions, I can wrap it up. For five of you who stuck on with me most of the night, that's really cool. I got 10 likes just for doing this. It's kind of cool. Oh, you mean a good morning for you, man? Because it's 4:30 in the morning for you, or no, it's almost 5 a.m. in the morning for you. Anybody else is everyone else dropping off? If they are, I can pack up. It'll take me another 40 minutes or so to pack everything away. But okay, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. First of all, this was fun. It was interesting to see how many people who actually did come on to watch. I think I had up to 7 people at any one time, which is kind of interesting. And I'll do more of these, weather permitting, of course. And hopefully I'll get my setup ready for you so you can get to see Jupiter better next time. It would be nice to show Jupiter, and you could see the color that you could see the stripes of Jupiter and the clouds and so on. You enjoyed it, Audra? That's good to see here. I'm glad people enjoy this. So I will try and do more of this kind of stuff. I actually might make it a section in the channel for this type of thing. So I'll move my video that I did about my telescopes into that grouping, and I might move it into that grouping also. And I will try and do some more, weather permitting, of course. But thank you for hanging out with me. It was fun. I love doing this. I love sharing this kind of stuff. As you all know, science and astronomy is a big passion of mine. So I will wish you all a good night and a good morning to you, Mr. German. But good night to everybody else who's on this side of the planet. And I will see you all for definitely on Wednesday in my hangout. Thank you and have a good night, guys. Take care. Oh, one last comment. Don't forget, when you go outside, look up. It's the best free show out there.